Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you beautiful people out there. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Leos in early to mid-May? We're approaching Leo season. It's not too far away, but it's a lovely time of year. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo in early to mid-May. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. What do we got for our good friends? What's happening? Thank you. Cool. All right, so we have this page-like energy. I'm not sure if you've had this recently. This card has been poking its little head out here and there, and I actually think it's pretty good. It does closely align with like communication. It's also a beautiful, fresh approach potentially. So I like it. Now, before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about it. So yeah, this is not a tarot deck, it is an oracle, but just looking at this imagery, it always reminds me so much of the Page of Pentacles. Nice earthy energy. And we see the young individual, little yin-yang on the hat, playing what looks to be a lute. We have this little rainbow coming out of it. So yeah, there's something great here when it comes to creativity. That's a little side message for some Leos. So whether it's like art or emotional expression, turning the internal emotions into something external. It's like transmuting energy. That's something I really like about this. But when I see page energy, I think of fresh. It's a youthful, energetic type of energy. So I think it's good. So for some Leos, there could be great things, great opportunities, things that are piquing your interest, because this card in particular is very much like a student, where it's I'm looking for information, I'm taking in information. But the biggest thing with every page, I always say they're all messengers. So whether this is a person or not, there could be something about a conversation, talk, or message that we want to look into as we go through the rest of the reading. But I like it. There's a lot of potential here. The only downside with page energy is that it's similar to aces, where like sometimes it could be a little shy or a little bashful or a little unsure. So we're just gonna let the page chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you three tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Leos. What's happening in early to mid-May? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled A Big Return. Now, to me, it did feel like something looping back or a cycle popping back up, not necessarily in a bad way. And it could have been a whole bunch of different things, whether you've been taking some trips down memory lane, doing a lot of reminiscing, maybe hearing from someone you haven't heard from in a while. That energy showed up very predominant. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. There might be certain things you're touching base on again. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. Three cards for the lovely Leos to start us off. What do we got? Yeah, this energy is on the go. That energy is on the move. Okay, not necessarily a bad thing. And I like an action card in position number one, and that is precisely what the Eight of Cups is. It's like, up, on the move, on the go, gotta go. The energy's like zipping and zooming around. Let's get a couple more. Let's see. Nine of Swords. Yeah, intense. Big, intense energy here. Don't get too freaked out by that Nine of Swords, all right? It is what it is. Yeah, just watch out for burning the candle at both ends. I could definitely say that for some Leos. So if you've been go, 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 nonstop, like this energy could be a little stress inducing. So make sure you're not overloading yourself. Let's get one more. Yeah, I mean, we do have the little mystery energy right here on the back end. So there is a lot of internal. This is going to be the big one, I think, right on the back, this Two of Swords. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, for those of you that watch me regularly, you know I always love to look at the elements first, just real quick to see, because I feel like the elements frame the reading and tell us how the energy is going to flow. And you have a mixture of water right here on the front. and air. Now, the thing that these two share in common is that they do represent internal energy, whereas like fire and earth energy, that's outward expression. This is all inward expression. And when it comes to water, the good thing about it, very similar to the page, it's emotional, it's creative, it can represent imagination. Water does tie in closely to interpersonal connections and relationships, things or people, situations that we are emotionally invested in and that we care about. I love the artistic creativity, though, attached to water. That's always huge. Now, the downside to water is sometimes it can get overwhelming, right? Sometimes water can pull us under, right? You know how emotions can be. There's like an ebb and flow. So that's something we want to keep an eye on about overwhelm, because especially moving here, we have the air. So we have matters of the heart, matters of the mind, heart, mind. Now, when it comes to the swords, these represent a more logical, pragmatic approach where it's like I do something because it's pragmatic, it's logical. That's always the biggest thing when it comes to air. It could represent information, whether you're wanting it, gathering it, receiving it, giving it. Like information is huge when it comes to the air because we're exchanging information. There's a lot of back and forth. So it is huge when it comes to strategy and planning, but also communication. So I like air. It's very intelligent. It's very sharp. But the downside is that it can represent overactivity of the mind, right? Especially with double air. Sometimes air can also be a little cold and detached. But yeah, the energy seems to be moving quite a bit. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Eight of Cups. So we are starting with movement. And you see the image here. We have this individual walking away from the Eight Cups. There's like this little nighttime scene with the moon, which does imply heading off into the unknown. Now, as I told you, I see this as a neutral. In its classical sense, the Eight of Cups can represent walking away from something. Worst case scenario, sometimes like abandoning or giving up. But to me, it's more so about neutral action. So whether it's action you're taking, action someone else is taking. Because remember, this Eight of Cups always is followed by the Nine, which is one of the best cards in the whole entire deck. So there could be something great right around the corner whenever I see this card. I don't always think doom and gloom, like, hey, someone's walking out the door. But yes, I mean, in its worst case scenario, sometimes it can represent moving away or leaving some way. So we'll take a look at this and see what's up with it. Sometimes it could even represent somebody that they're overburdened with responsibility. So again, if you have a lot on your plate, if you're burning the candle at both ends, like this energy, it's like a flight response. So we'll take a look at it. Moving to the center, and this really ties into that overwhelm that I was starting to pick up. We have the Nine of Swords right in the center. Now, the good thing about the Nine of Swords is that it is sensitive to subtleties. That's the one thing I will say. But we have to mention, and I always say you don't have to be an expert to understand what this card means, right? We see this person, they're sitting up in bed, hands over the face. So it can be a little stressed. It could be anxious, on edge, nervous. So whether that's you or somebody else, it's an energy that could potentially feel a little overwhelmed. So that's something we want to keep an eye on as we move through the reading. Uh, the positives of it, yes, the energetic sensitivity, um, looking at fine details, that's something I like here. And this one also does tie into paranormal situations and activities. So if you're energetically sensitive, the Nine of Swords is like, oh, I'm picking up on every little thing. So you might want to protect or ground your energy when this is here. But again, yeah, it could be on edge and nervous, right? Like with the Eight of Cups, Nine of Swords, it's like I have a lot on my plate, and this is like a flight response if we see some sort of action. Now, the part that's really intriguing me is the card that we have when we get right here to the back end. We have the Two of Swords. And we see this individual. It is also nighttime, just like this card. It also has a moon, just like this card. This person is blindfolded with the swords crossed. Now, when it comes to all twos, it can represent decisions, choices, being at a crossroads. Hey, do I go left? Do I go right? Mulling something over. In the classic sense, this card can represent indecision, confusion, not knowing. What if this happens? What if that happens? How is this going to turn out? This card has a lot of questions that it wants to be answered. But to me, I just look at it as overall mysterious, right? Similar to the moon. I look at this as like the unexpected, the unknown, the surprising. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. The thing that I really love about the Two of Swords, though, is that it's followed by clarity. So it's like we have all this pressure building here in the front end, but it can be followed by clarity because the Two of Swords can also represent information coming to the surface or understanding. So there might be something you've been trying to figure out or understand that you could. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Leo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Eight of Cups. Let's see what this action's about. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's see what's up with the Eight of Cups. What do we have in the energetic weather report for my lovely Leos? How's that Eight of Cups here? Thank you. This is a very strong-willed type of energy, and I do think for some of you this can be transmuted in a very, very positive way. One thing I know about you beautiful Leos is that you have a strong sense of will and determination. When you decide something is what it is, it's like, nope, this is what it's going to be. I can't stop, won't quit. So there is no quit in this energy. To me, it feels like someone running through a brick wall, right? So hopefully, as we move through the reading, we could potentially be seeing a breakthrough of some kind. But this also could be an energy that's very easily overwhelmed. So you see what I mean? It's like we have the scales here because we have this energy that's like very set on something, very determined, so much willpower and push that I feel like it's great as long as it's not too much. Right. And this has been a theme I've been seeing with the fire signs this week in particular, where we kind of want to let the energy flow a little bit. There is a time and a place for action. There is a time and a place to do stuff, make it happen, and just gut it out and run through that brick wall, so to speak. But then there's also time to take the foot off the gas and just let something coast for a little bit. I don't know why I'm coming out with all this, but you just take it however it hits. Now, the Five of Swords, we see this person, they just beat the crap out of the people in the background, won all the swords. In the positive sense, as I'm sure you could guess, it's determined. It's a card of self-interest. I'm doing what's right for me. I'm focused on myself. That's a big thing with this card. But the downside, this can be angry. This card can be very confrontational. This card can be aggressive and pushy and selfish. I'm not saying that's definitely the case, but it's just something to watch out for in the energy, especially if you're dealing with anyone that marks some of those boxes. So, in the positive sense, I like it because it's an energy that's set and it's going to do something no matter how hard it is. It's going to gut it out. Um, in the challenging aspect, this could be an energy that's like just very overwhelmed, where it's like, I don't know how much more I could take. It's like, I have a lot on my plate. I don't know how much more I could take. So let's keep moving. I don't want to say it's a problem just yet, but let's see what the Nine of Swords has. Very swordsy this week. So let's go in on that nine. So why is that here for the lovely Leos? Thank you. This person feels like there's no one they could talk to. That makes me a little sad. So we have the Page of Wands in reverse. Now, this could be tied into communication. It doesn't just have to be exactly what I said. The Page of Wands in reverse is like very hush, very quiet. Feels like it can't say something, or there's issues around communication. So this could be someone having a more difficult time than they're letting on as well. So I'm getting a few different things here. It's like, yeah, but there's no one I could really talk to about this issue. There's no one I could really talk to about this problem. The Page of Wands, fire sign energy. It is a Leo power card. Usually in the upright, it's just like full of energy. Push, push, push. It's usually very good. A very chatty type of energy. But in reverse, under the Nine of Swords, again, it's stressed, anxious, nervous, and might feel like there's no one it could really talk to about. Watch out for miscommunications. That could be a big thing as well, where it's like, I didn't mean to say it like that, or someone took the words the wrong way. So there is this little funkiness around communication, too, that you might just want to be cautious about in this time. But yeah, the energy is just overwhelmed. It's just very, very overwhelmed and anxious, nervous. That's the big vibe I'm picking up here. And again, like, this doesn't have to be your energy. This is just an energetic weather report. You could definitely sidestep around this storm, but I just feel the pressure building, if that makes sense. We're going to keep moving. So let's go in on the Two of Swords. We'll see what that has, because it's a little bit of mystery. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to call it a problem at the moment, but let's see. So why is that Two of Swords here? Just feels very on edge. It feels overwhelmed, like just a lot on the plate. So why is the Two of Swords here? Okay. It's like this person would know what to do, or this person would help me out. So we got double twos here on the back end. Watch out for like signs, synchronicities, repeating number patterns, stuff like that, because spirit could be trying to encourage you, especially if you're seeing a lot of that type of stuff. But the Two of Cups is beautiful. I always say it, especially in the upright soul tie, soul connection, soul bond. It doesn't just have to be romance. When I see it in the upright underneath the Two of Swords, this could be someone giving or receiving advice. So again, maybe someone's going to approach you and say, you know what, Leo, I'm going through a tough one. How would you handle this? What would you do if you were in my position? Like, there is something here about seeking information that we've been picking up, especially in the middle and the back end here. But I also got this vibe where, like, this person would know exactly what to do. So maybe that's how someone's thinking about you. That's very possible. Or we could just be getting the two number signs. Um, this can 100% be like a very serious or an important talk as well, especially with this page and like, oh, I don't know how to approach this. I don't know who I could talk to about this. Two of Swords, Two of Cups is like, I'm letting somebody know, someone I trust, or there's just something that needs to be aired out. That's the vibe. So this could be a very important or serious talk on the back end. And I'm not getting bad energy here. Um, it needs to be tactful, though. That's like another thing I'm picking up. So very intriguing reading this week. A lot of stuff around communication. Just really watch out for overwhelm. That's like my overarching theme, where it's like you might need a pressure release of some sort. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadows. If you kindly look in the box, I'm neutral about the reading this week, but if you look here in the box, position number one, Eight of Cups, Five of Swords, full of determination, full of get up and go, can't stop, won't stop, no quit here. My mind is set. This is the direction I'm going in, and it could potentially be a breakthrough where it's like, I know it's hard, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I like that. That's something I admire about you, Leos. It's like you don't always look for the easy road. Now, this can also be someone that is very much overwhelmed, where it's like, not, I don't know how much more I could take. I don't know how much more I could put on my shoulders. Moving into the center, we have the Nine of Swords with the Page of Wands in reverse. Again, there could be someone that's going through a bit of a difficult time and they might not want to talk about it. They might not be very forthcoming with the information. It could be something bothering them, but they're not really speaking about it for the time being. Stressed, anxious, nervous energy here, and this person might feel like there's not many people I can understand. It's very unique. Moving to the back end, we got double two, so watch for the signs, synchronicities, and omens. It could be spirit trying to encourage. But Two of Swords, Two of Cups, letting somebody know. So this could absolutely be an important or serious talk where it's like, no, I need to get this out in the air. So again, whether that's how someone's looking at you, like, hey, I need advice, or whether that's you approaching somebody else, it could all be in play. But I just feel very neutral about it overall. So a lot of communication. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for the lovely Leos. What's happening? And yes, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got for the lovely Leos? Thank you. Cool. Six of Pentacles. That is a nice balanced energy, and I'm happy that it showed up in the shadows particularly. Now, we will speak about the shadow side of it. Normally, it's an energy of a person. They're standing there with the scale, like handing out pentacles to other people, and it can represent situations where it's about balance. It can represent situations that, is this fair? Is this equal? But it's also very giving. There's a big helpful energy here. So whether someone's asking for your help, whether you're supplying assistance or help to somebody else, the Six of Pentacles gives, and gives. And I know Leos have very big hearts, and the large majority of Leos would give you the shirt off their back. And that's how this energy feels. Now, the big important thing that I'm picking up here with this as a shadow card is it's good to have a heart like that. But at the same time, you shouldn't give at the detriment of yourself, right? Like there should always be certain limits or boundaries when I see this card. It's great for money. So that's another little side bonus. So if you're going through career things, but we're just going to put it down right there, Leo. That's what I got for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.